Hey, this is Rick, and I want to talk to you about my arrangement of A Holy Night for string orchestra with optional timpani. There's a link below that'll take you to the piece on Pepper, like you see here. So, here's a description of the piece. It's 3 minutes and 45 seconds, as you can see here, and there's some other description information. So I'm going to go to here where I can audition the score and hear the audio. So it'll start the audio right away. Bring that down. Pepper gives you the complete audio here, and you can adjust the volume as I did, and it gives you the complete score. So let's talk a little bit about why I did this in the first place. This was originally a classical guitar arrangement I did, many years ago, that went on a Christmas album of mine. It's been recorded by other artists. I've done a version for soprano soloist, choir, and piano for a television show. And there's probably been some other uses. Well, there's been some television uses on TV shows. This arrangement, it's one of my most popular Christmas arrangements, which is a little strange because I, growing up, didn't really care for A Holy Night. Even well into my adult years, I didn't. I think the turn came for me when I did the choir arrangement for the television show, and we were very active in the videotaping of it. My wife produced it, and the song, the music, and the lyrics and everything really grew on me. The line "Fall on your knees" has a lot of impact on me because I'm a big believer in things like humility and repentance, and this song seems to speak of it. The style is, well, like a lot of my music, has a certain cinematic, a movie score kind of a style. That's not intentional with me. It just seems to happen. Um, I don't watch a lot of TV and movies, but growing up, I was very influenced by movies such as Exodus, theme from Exodus, and other shows. So it's just a quality I have in a lot of my music. So, as I said earlier, let me scroll through the score. I think this one is, I can't remember how many pages, 9 pages. And I'll go back to the beginning and talk more about it. Another part of the style of this is early music. As I've said, I was raised Roman Catholic, Vatican I into Vatican II. My first musical recollection was walking into a Catholic church at about age 1.5 and hearing what I now know is called music, and specifically choral music, and even more specifically, early music, and just hearing this something behind me that I now know is called sound, because when you're 1.5, what kind of word associations can you have? But that has influenced a lot of my music throughout my life, even in my jazz music or more commercial music, if you will. The influence of chant, Renaissance music, medieval music seems to show up somewhere in almost everything I do. It does on a holy night, so let's look at it. The intro here, we start off with the violins doing harmonics, just a pedal. The violas here are doing somewhat similar to what the original guitar version did on the guitar. The cellos are just defining the basic chords in root progression, or excuse me, root position, root notes. Here's a little bit of what I was talking about, this kind of organum, parallel fifths here in the cello, just the early music influence, and the bass just does some pits, kind of, you might say, very simple color parts, filling in a little bit of hole. The A section starts the first melody with solo violin, accompanied by the violas, continuing this kind of arpeggio figure. Violins too, you can't see this well, but pick up a diatonic downward line. This becomes a homophonic section, just defining a little bit of simple reharmonization, much like the first Noel arrangement, which is a very popular arrangement. Continues, all the violins coming here, picking up the melody. So you know how all this part goes. Da 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 da, etc. There are some divisis in the violins. This gets a little high, so if you're a music director and your violins are not real strong on the high end, you can take these down an octave. I've said this before in other videos. I put certain things in, and I always like to, as a director myself, start with what's written on the paper as is, but eventually I adjust things to fit the ensemble I have at that time. You're always welcome to do that on my music as well. Anyway, so it goes through and kind of builds and builds, and it returns to the over here to the intro, but a little different. I don't like to do things exactly the same way twice. Change a little something here and there. Here's where it takes the big turn. This would be the part that would be lyrically accompanied by the fall on your knees. So violins have the melody up high, all together, all in unison, with the violins two and the violas accompanying with chords, a little bit of, you might say, very simple modal reharmonization. Cellos and the basses and the timpani basically supplying the bass notes in arpeggiated form. Goes to here. I'm going to play, if I can find it. Let me try here and see if it'll play. There it is. So I'm going to stop it so you can hear there's a little bit of reharmonization still in a diatonic context. This one bar here, I use some very mild polychord, C triad here, open position in the lower strings, C to D with a E or C sharp minor 7, depending how you want to look at it. Defined it here, very light polychord reharmonization. Very light pandiatonic, you might say, reharmonizations. So anyway, this comes to a big moment and to an end, and it goes out with basically the intro, interlude slightly different. I'll see if I can just pick it up about here, play a little bit. Anyway, that's it. It kind of goes out as quietly as it came in. So I hope if you do purchase the piece, you enjoy it. As a director, I hope your players enjoy it, and if you perform it, that your audience enjoys it. If you have any questions, you can reach me by email from my Pepper profile page or from my website. I'm always happy to hear from people performing my music. If you by chance perform it and videotape it, boy, I always love to see those. So feel welcome to contact me. All right, thank you.